Okay, well, I guess, thank you, first of all, to Jason to put it all together.
And Matt.
And Matt, and everybody else who did the work, but this guy here is Justin. He somehow affords this every year. Getting it outside the U.S. is always great, right?
We'll fly to Berlin.
Pretty good. So we're excited about that great day outside. We've got a lot to cover today and tomorrow. And I guess I wanted to kind of give an introduction to kind of the purpose of the meeting. This is now the 12th year we're doing this, which is, it kind of shocked me actually, thinking about the first thing in New York City. There's about 8 or 10 of us, maybe 12 of us, who walked around Manhattan with Doug and had our first meeting with this. And it's gotten legit, right? It's gotten legit in terms of everybody who's sitting here. Though I see a lot of older white guys, so that may be a change in my thing. It's been 12 years, and so I think that's something that it may be time for a ramp up. You know, we're getting bigger as a company. We just had a management meeting 2 weeks ago, and looking at the projections for both bookings and doing, you know, I get asked a lot about who's going to put on this, who's going to put on that, who's going to put on this. And even though we grow in numbers here, we don't necessarily have the right slots to put in the right place. You know, so that precipitates a number of different issues. One is, how do we get supported more? You, me, whatever, with teams, do the work we got to do more effectively. That's things like boot camp, like building your studios up, mentoring. That's something that I think we can be much better at. I think some studios do it really well, some do it really poorly, and it's more of an ad hoc way depending on who you work with, with your managing director. It can't be ad hoc, we have to do it. It can't be like maybe it'll work today, maybe tomorrow, maybe 6 months, has to work. So the two, it's not growth / philosophy, it's two separate topics. The first is looking at growth. How do we grow, but not necessarily grow with numbers, but grow with the quality of what we do? You know, what I mean by that is we're right now going after, I think, 5, we call them XL hospitals, and one now is called XXL hospital. That's our management marketing piece. And it's like, oh, how are we going to deal with this? How are we going to put on this? Who are we going to put? What team? Whatnot? And we never have an answer. We, meaning the leadership team, always thinks about how to do it. We can do it, but it's not apparent to the people that we speak to, okay, about how you're going to be, okay, for us as a company, winning those mega hospitals or mega projects is key to paying us. Every year we have to win one of those, maybe 2, to pay for everything we do. And everything else pays for it, but nothing is as important as the hospital that has a $80 million fee. Okay? I know it costs the money right away, but we win those by ideas. Okay, we have ideas that then generates a great notion to develop big projects that pay for us to keep us going. So I don't want to underestimate the importance of talking purely design, right? Talking about ideas, because we're going to do that today. But I don't want to underestimate the importance of keeping us moving. We're not only, some people are geared towards the $2 billion projects, some are not. Some people are geared to it, don't have a team to support them. That's a problem. Right? You know, maybe it's a combination of 3 or 4 people to do a project. We have to solve it. Because I get asked these questions like, well, we need to have you, the same people every time working these jobs. We can't do that. We need to do it. So just growth means many different pieces. I want a theme to be how we grow better the people. I'll talk about boot camp. I'll talk about mentoring. And that's a topic that I want to really keep reiterating, how we bring staff forward. Philosophy, well, design philosophy is something with that 12 years that I showed before, was kind of made up. I sat in a room with Vince Elwood and somebody from Dallas. Somebody from Dallas who was part of the design
Donald
group.
Oh,
Donald
yeah,
Hinkey.
Donald.
Good guy. He moved on, but good guy, and Bruce. And we sat in a room going, okay, so philosophy. Well, back then it was like we do good. You know, it's important that we do good functional projects. And somehow, through a meeting, we came up with a design for this. And it was mostly based probably on my personal viewpoint, which isn't necessarily the right point. It simply was a personal viewpoint to get us to a place that was different than HDR at that time thought they wanted to be. So I want to go over that philosophy. And I want to talk about how it may want to morph, change, throw it out the window, do something else. But I want to think about it in the context of a couple of venues, not just the great big D design, but it's about how it impacts everything we do. And the reason for this is that it's going to be an intro. But first of all, I want to congratulate a couple of people. First of all, now senior vice president at HDR is one of those things that happen off here somewhere. It's not like a design track, but it's a company track. What's good about a company track, it means that you have balance with others who get that same track. In operations and business development and leadership. And two people here, Tom Trello sitting here, front row, Jason kind of over the steps. This past year, we're the only senior vice presidents in architecture who were nominated to the leadership team. I mean, it's not done. That means, there's a whole group that meets and they meet on things and they sit on they agree with things, right? These two guys were agreed to. It was, I wouldn't say a push, but it was well deserved and well received, but not only architecture, but also received by engineering and leadership and everything else. So just give these guys a round of applause. Flows change, that's a good one. Okay, design principles, we got 3 design principles. I think they're all here. I hope they're all here.
Yeah, they are.
We've got Paul, Tyler, and Tim, and they're part of this I think, a new model or a new component that is something that's going to change us. And so I want to encourage the 3 of you guys and their input to realize that age and numbers of projects that you've done and years at HDR have nothing to do with how well you do. I've probably been at HDR in my former company longer than anybody here. Time frame somewhere means nothing. It's what you do and how you do it. So I just want, thank goodness these guys look forward to some great work coming out. Congratulations. Tim was at boot camp last week. So it was kind of, last time I was talking to people last night. They call guys being design principal. He doesn't really need boot camp, no, he's design principal. That is bullshit. The reality, the boot camp is something that I think all of us can use. It is fun. It is help. You work with peers. You understand a little bit about how to deal with controversy, with speed, with design, presentation. And I think Tim did well up there. I could tell in the middle of it, he was like, "What the hell am I doing here? Or why am I doing this? It's insane." But I know that it worked well with Tim. I felt good about myself with Jason and Tim, and it's something that I think we talked about a mid-level boot camp opportunity, which we're going to push twice next year. I think we recommend with the money. We can get other. If we have money, we got to spread around. Some people spend more, some people spend less. And we have to really focus on this training. It's very good. But congratulations to these guys. And the last thing, we have this new piece, that's associate designers. That is a really important role that I have come around through a series of years to realize how important it is. And the reason it's important is that, to be blunt, there needs to be a pathway through design that leads to success. It's not just that one day you go, well, I want to become design principal, I'll hang around for 5 or 6 years. If they make me one, great. If they don't, I'll probably leave and go somewhere else. Because I'm not serious. I think this is about transition. There's age, there's location, there's ambition. And so all that goes into, this is not a checklist of this person spent 4 years at HDR, they worked on these kind of projects, so-and-so likes them, they get approval, they get a job. This is about people that we see. And this comes down to, it's kind of a weird thing. At HDR, everything is done. I've flown overseas, I've been back here, I've been overseas, so I'll just try to start off by being very even keeled. Things are done through a system that everything seems equal and fair, right? We vetted this for 20 years, and we've gone through this systems, we've looked on it, we've gone back and turned the wheel, and then in the end, I can validate what each person's there by 40 rules. That's not how this is done. That's not how this is done. This is done by, we vetted you all to get names. We then sat in a room, talked about those names. We then touched base with a couple of people, managing director and or design principal, to vet these. In the end, I made this decision. So when it comes down to it, if there are people who aren't in this list, or people who are, it came down to somebody making a decision based on good feedback from the people that spoke. So, but the reasons I made those decisions are more important than I did. The reasons are, I see a future. I see a future with these people to basically start to achieve success in our company, both design and growth opportunities and leadership opportunities with these people. So they're different personality types, but one of the goals here was, you notice we have some differentiation here. It's not all the same as us, And I think looking at so many factors played into this, but I just want to give Stephen and Adeline and Brian, Samaya, and the rest of the group here, just great accolades. I mean, some of them have been here for a long time, some haven't been here for a long time, but they have the spark to lead them. Oh yeah, let's see it. It's up to them to succeed, but they have the spark. So they're not here, but we'll just consider
that. Quick question.
Yeah.
Do they know yet? Do they know yet?
Yeah, it's a great question. Somebody asked me that, three people asked me that this morning. Well, I'm going to ask the folks in the room, the three principals in the room, did you all know?
I know.
You do. I know you called it, Tyler.
I have not called you. I have not called you.
Keep a secret.
I didn't call you.
This is like a
I have not made a personal call to everybody. I made it to some. We need to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody knows, but some don't formally know, so therefore each year I will make sure they know what they're interested in.
But your point to me was that you wanted everybody in this room.
Yeah.
It's like, it was important for you, for this group. And you did show this to me in a second.
Yeah, executives, actually in the end, I showed it to them for their approval, even though they didn't approve. They just sat there. They sat there in a very positive way. That's great.
Turn the camera off.
But there was no, I didn't say, do you approve of this? Because that might be an opportunity for them to speak.
Exactly.
So they approved it by association, which is good. Boot camp. So we had a boot camp a couple weeks ago, a lot of fun, and Jason, but he always does, somehow there's a video, he'll do this, you'll see yourself by tomorrow with some video flyer. I don't know when he does it, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. We're gonna show a video of that. Rather than talking about it, it's just a good, probably some of you have seen this already, but there's just a lot of.
It doesn't play, I'll plug it.
You have to,
Microphone.
It is just, we had it in Chicago. Mostly because a bunch of us moved to Chicago for meetings and just worked out that way. It was a great city at boot camp. It's a great architectural city. So. I'm always amazed by the first 5 minutes of boot camp, where we can just fresh the person like, what the hell are we doing here? Why are we here? What's happening? And then at the end, in 2 days, everybody's like hanging out, having beers and stuff, and just understanding why they were there today. And we're the same way. I love it. It's so wonderful.
All right, so we just landed. Seems like there's something going on in Chicago this week. I met these folks here that are highly qualified to talk about boot camp. Boot camp. What better than the U.S. Navy to talk about boot camp? What's going on this week?
Just graduating boot camp, I'll leave for Pensacola, exciting.
Wow. We thank them for their service. It's fantastic. And so this is boot camp, HDR Design Boot Camp. This week, 2023. I just talked to the airport. I go to jail. Sweet home, Chicago.
The best way that I could describe boot camp is it's like being thrown into a pool and you start panicking because you don't know how to swim. But you realize immediately that actually the water's only 2 feet deep because you're surrounded by amazing people who are actually here to help you and support you and to teach you.
Sometimes I feel like everything's under my control, but sometimes I feel like I don't have any control. So, but I feel like now I have a big opening in front of me and I know where I'm heading.
Boot camp has been a wonderful experience where I feel like I've gotten to hone my skills in storytelling, but also in working with others and pulling from teammates.
I would say boot camp has been very intense, and it's taught me how to improvise in new ways, how to think on the spot, design on the spot, and work with people I've never worked with before. And overall, I think it's been very enlightening.
It's hard to kind of wrap words around kind of this experience, because the last 40 hours have been packed full of goodness, so to speak. But I think for me, it's crafting a narrative, both for design and presentation, that kind of weave together, and then at the same time, kind of seeing how others are doing that and getting that feedback, which has been really fantastic.
In second grade, my teacher brought in the UV light and showed us basically where germs are on our bodies, and it changed the way that I see the world. And I think boot camp is kind of the same thing, where now our professors have shined this light on this aspect of me that I've never seen before, my design presentation skills. So now it's kind of this jump start to this ongoing process that will continue to evolve as I continue my career.
In a 48-hour period, I've learned an incredible amount, not only about myself, but also the perception of others about me and how that could influence the way I work. So much to learn, not only from my mentors, but also my peers. And I feel very inspired and empowered. And the big, bold lesson for me was the power of a simple idea.
It's a good reminder of the simple things that matter. Pausing, sketches, what we say, what we don't say, it all matters.
I feel like boot camp has really helped me find my voice based on my personality. It's been interesting to see that I fit well in a conversational role and that I can embrace that. And I also enjoyed seeing the dynamics in a group with all of the different personalities working together and how we can play off of our strengths.
For me, boot camp honestly was different type of experience. I mean, I'm used to working at a fast-paced environment, but never this fast. So it was amazing to see what we came up with such speed.
Trusting myself, trusting the people that I work with who I haven't met before, and kind of being forced into a situation that makes you uncomfortable, just brings the best out of everybody. So it's been transformative.
Yeah, the interesting thing was the last day, and we swear we're never going to tell secrets about this stuff, but it's about doing design where it's something that I think we all do. We take too much time, we don't think fast enough. When we think fast enough, we don't put it down on virtual paper fast enough. And I think it's something that it's amazing what you saw in 2 hours. A team designed something and presented in 2 hours. It's a tough thing to do. It actually works. Okay, so
bear with me. I gotta say this. If you want to see Brian excited, it's like the 2 or 3 days after boot camp. You're on like cloud nine. I don't know if I'd have this guy. He's like just. It's exciting. And
And if you get a chance, ask Mo, ask Kate, they both couldn't be here, by the way. There's only 2 folks who couldn't make it. Mo took one for the team, he's back in the UK, finishing up work, and that allowed Brian and Patos to be here. Kate's some border crossing in Alaska, literally. So she nothing to do. But take a minute, ask them about that, because they're a big part of it too.
All right, so about a month ago, I was at a presentation for a hospital in DC. Our project director got up and said, this is HDR's design philosophy. We have 3 pillars, right? And he said, it's really important that we have sustainability as one of those. Like he didn't talk about the difference. You know, we care about communities like yours. We care about your community, you know, and we are transforming how we deliver the project to you, you know, with BIM and those kind of things, right? Now, that's what was said, right? And so it became apparent to me that we have this real challenge, right? Because there's nothing wrong with the pillars. They're really, really good. But how we, you know, I made a mistake. I should have known what he was saying, and I should have corrected that and recast what he was saying to be better. You know how things go. It's like flipping around. I should have done it, right? But all of a sudden, he set me up for failure. Because that's not what he just said was not our design philosophy. It was what we have in our 3 pillars as the company's values. Now, if one got up and talked about, you know, kind of broken up, I'm not sure the text is that way, that our company has values and aspirations for, you know, for building kind of an ethos that we believe in as a group of people, 14,000 people, that really transforms how you use energy, how the communities that you are in will be transformed. We do it in a way that's unique to make it better, easier, and stronger for you. That's our ethos, that's our philosophy from a company standpoint. But how we do our work is not that way, because this is simply, you know, setting up, you know, the body of understanding of who we are as human beings related to you as a technology company. How we do our work is a little bit different. You know, we have a design philosophy. Now, this is that design philosophy that's old and dusted off, but has values that I believe in. You know, and those values are how we, you know, we're 14,000 people. We're a very technology-driven company. We do science buildings. We do hospitals. We're the best in the world. We express that integration to organize a building in a way that is not exposing ducts and steel and so on. What it's doing is really making a well-tuned machine. We rethink the standard approach. You know, we don't want to give you a pen, although somebody will show you in a few minutes that rotates and we show it to you. We don't want to redo that. We want to make it better. Everything that we do is better. Things. We are an idea-based company. We believe that ideas are the values that we bring to your organization that no one else can bring, because we have better people develop those ideas. We'll share that with you. We embody your vision with those ideas. You are important to us. And the idea that we are great stewards of your energy that you use, landscape that you use, how you integrate with your community to allow us to basically be good stewards for all of that together to wrap up the first floor. And that's how we. So it's not an ideology, which are the pillars. It's a philosophy of how we. So there's no confusion. People ask me, well, the pillars are philosophy or are these 5 points? You know? And it's about an ideology, an ethos of who we are, applied to how we do our work as a company. Now, I would like to talk about this through this conference. So let's talk about how are we going to change this? Who are we? How do we? But I'd like you to think about it in terms of the big D, design, how we want to be personally approach design. Because it is personal, right? We're all individuals who think differently about design. But that's a piece of our philosophy. Collectively, how we do what we do, I believe you should have a checklist of attributes. We're not rethinking the standard approach. Then, damn it, you're not doing the right thing. Okay, and that's really, really important to me to rethink. You know, so it's not about, well, I don't really want to rethink that. I'll let the planners do that. I just want to do this cool thing in front. No, it's not. I want you to rethink. And that's something else. It's your own personal thought on this. It's the idea of, yes, we have to have a methodology of what makes us better. And then the third issue, I really believe has to do with the kind of HDR. Where are we headed? What kind of people do we want to attract? How do we want to differentiate ourselves from the rest of the audience, the rest of the companies who are eager and just as good as we are to do what they do? Now, there's different philosophies. Some are written long manuscripts. I've read them. You know, it's more of a manifesto about what they believe in. Others are you know, carbon neutral by tomorrow. You know, I mean, there's different ways of looking at this. I want to make sure that we, as we morph this, and I'm very willing to morph